Alright, so what's up, guys? Yeah, I know it's been a while since we last posted a video on this channel, so I'm gonna be discussing two things today. One is why we haven't posted in a long time, and two is I'm gonna give my opinions as a sort of quick review on the prop hunty, ghost hunting, phasmophobia, Ghostbusters game called Midnight Ghost Hunt. So, starting it off. Yeah, I'm really sorry we haven't posted videos in a long time. One of us was supposed to be doing an Alien Isolation review, and their computer broke down, so they haven't been able to do it. And other than that, they've just been not doing it. I don't know why. Raps. But the second video, Stealthy had his family over, so he couldn't record, and since we all thought Alien Isolation was going to be our next video, once Raps revealed that he wasn't actually doing it, it delved into a whole chaotic field of what our next video was gonna be. And thank God for Midnight Ghost Hunt, or we wouldn't be here with this video. Hashtag not sponsored, but do go check out Midnight Ghost Hunt. Other than that, I wasn't recording anything because I thought the other two were recording something. And yeah, one of us had family stuff, the other just hasn't been doing their review. And so now we were stuck here for months without any content because nobody had any idea what video to do. So sorry about that. And to show our apologies, I am here with a Midnight Ghost Hunt review. Let us start with a basic description. If you're a fan of Prop Hunt, you're probably really gonna like this game. Because there are two teams in this game. There's a team of Ghostbusters. Well, they're just called Hunters, but I like to call them Ghostbusters. And then there's the group of ghosts that are actually in the building, haunting it. And here's the fun thing. It is Prop Hunt because the ghosts can actually go and possess objects, and this was actually shown off in the trailer, the cinematic trailer. The ghost with the fancy top hat, Markiplier, actually hid in a statue head, and then the female ghost that was actually dressed relatively fancy, by the way. Well, I mean, it is a super rich family in that trailer, but case aside, she possessed a lamp and started walking around that thing with a lamp. That place with a lamp, as a lamp, not with a lamp, as a lamp. And so, here you go. The four ghosts can hide in props, and that's where the prop hunt aspect comes into play. Because, like I said, the Ghostbusters are hunting down the ghosts, and so if they're taking on the forms of props, they have to, find out which props are which. And, yeah, which props are ghosts. That's the other thing. Liam, you gotta shut up. You can't, flatline like that. Anyway, back on focus. We get the four ghosts that can hide in props, and the four hunters who have to defeat all the ghosts. Now here's the fun thing about defeating the ghosts. Each team has the ability to revive down teammates. Actually, I should probably talk about the combat before I talk about reviving. That seems like a logical thing to do. Okay, let's go logical. Combat. So, the thing about Midnight Ghost Hunt is, like I said, it's a prop hunt type game, but it's also like horror deathmatch prop hunt, because the ghosts fight back. The ghosts fight back against the Ghostbusters, who have all their ghost-busting technology, and it is like techno. They're like ghost blasting miniguns, ghost blasting turrets, ghost blasting snipers. You fight each other? Well, you can fight each other. Fighting's not a necessity until the very end. Because, here's the thing. The objective of the hunters is to destroy all 4 of the ghosts. That's the bottom line. But if they want to, the ghosts can get aggressive and actually attack the hunters. And eventually they're supposed to. Because listen to the name, Midnight Ghost Hunt. The objective of the hunters is to try and destroy all the ghosts before midnight. Because once the clock strikes midnight, you'll see the timer at the top. Once the clock strikes midnight, the ghosts actually are turned from the hunted to the hunters, and the hunters become the hunted. And as per se, once midnight strikes, the ghosts become much more powerful. And the ghosts have a very specific way of combating the hunters and their gadgets. When a ghost possesses an object, it can use its attack button and sort of like aim itself and the object at a hunter and then slingshot the object at the hunter, doing damage. And that, since you're possessing that object, that means you're actually just slingshotting yourself at the hunters. But yeah. Also, if there are 2 forms the ghost can take. The ghosts can take their regular human forms, or they possess one of the many props on the map. If a ghost is in its regular form, its regular attack is just a punch. Not a falcon punch, unfortunately. But also, yes, I know I criticized how many ghost hunting games there were out, but this is a very special ghost hunting game, so I'm making some exceptions. Like I said, the Ghostbusters have weapons to shoot down the ghosts. And that's just the objective of the hunters. Destroy the ghosts and vacuum up their essence, because once you destroy a ghost, they'll be on the floor in the form of these shards that somebody has to vacuum up. Speaking of which, now sounds like a good time to go into the hunter category of fighting. The hunters have all their weapons. That's expected. But what wasn't really shown in the trailer was that the hunters can actually also like switch out their guns, switch out their gadgets, and pretty much similar to most like shooting games, you can change around your loadout in the middle of the game, but you can only do it at this generator. And that's where all your stuff is. The ghosts can actually attack this generator, and you don't want to let them do that. So, and actually that brings up a little tip for ghosts. If you start attacking the generator, be careful, because chances are once you start attacking the generator, all 4 hunters are gonna run to the generator and make sure you die horribly. That way you don't go back to it. Now, here's the thing. There are gadgets, not just weapons, but gadgets like something that looks like an EMF reader. It literally has the line that goes from green to red, depending on how close a ghost is, similar to the EMF readers in Phasmophobia and other games. And that's like a radar for how close ghosts are. If it's in the red, they're very close. So that's another thing. So the ghost hunters don't just have weapons to destroy the ghost, they also have weapons to find, well, not weapons, tools to find the ghost. Like if a ghost is running, they will leave tracks, which you can see with a certain gadget. There's a defib to revive any downed hunters. And speaking of revive, if there's a vacuum to vacuum up the ghost shards, because those ghost shards are actually what revive ghosts. If a ghost is not vacuumed up after they're killed, if a ghost is not vacuumed... Can you kill something that's already dead? Oh my god, I'm about to criticize one really weird aspect of the game. But anyway, I'll do that later. If a hunter does not vacuum up a ghost shards, that ghost can be revived by its ghost friends. And also another thing that can revive ghosts is, once the clock strikes midnight, all 4 ghosts will be back in action. And if somebody vacuums up a ghost, if you kill the person that vacuumed up a ghost, the shards will fall out of the vacuum and you can revive your friend. In a similar way, the ghosts also have a thing to prevent humans from coming back to life, at least from just straight up being revived out the gate. If you knock out a human, then you can consume their souls and they won't be able to defib their teammate. I should have scripted this. Whatever. Next thing up is the fact that it's probably scarier to play the ghost than it is to play the hunters, at least for the first half of the game before midnight. Because those hunters will wreck you unless you're with your team of ghosts and you gang up on them one by one. Because I think this was intended, but more often than not, ghosts will beat you in hunters will beat ghosts in outright combat, so you just gotta hide. And here's the thing about hiding. You can't stay in the same place for too long because you have an ectoplasm buildup as a ghost that if you're hiding in the same place for too long, you'll start leaking your ectoplasm. And I actually find that to be a really fun anti-camping and strategy that keeps ghosts from staying in the same place. Because obviously, if this was like normal prop hunt and you could just stand still, chances are you won't ever be found. But now, since the props can fight back and the props have a buildup of ectoplasm that will reveal them to the hunters if they don't move for long enough, it forces the ghosts to actually move around. So I really like that. Yeah. There's also abilities that the ghosts and... Well, not... Would I call them abilities or perks? Yeah, I'll call them perks. But I'm not going to go into detail about all of them since there are already plenty, but I will say that one of the ghost perks that I do like is that you're able to doppelganger. You're able to be a doppelganger of one of the hunters. Yes, you get to transform into the form of one of the hunters. And then Corruption and Poltergeist, those are two abilities that I'm a fan of. Poltergeist just lifts objects into the air, and Corruption will explode objects if hunters touch them or shoot them. And then hunters have similar perks. Not like as supernatural, but they do have perks. I'm not going to go into it all because that's a topic for another day, but if you want us to do a video detailing all the weapons, perks, and gadgets in Midnight Ghost Hunt, just let us know in the comments. Because like I said, this video was just so we could get a video out. Thank the heavens this game released its early access, or we would have no video. And the maps. Each map, and this is something I really like, it's similar to Haunt Chaser, but each map will have a few interactive props that are exclusive to that map, and they have their own abilities. Like on the pirate ship map, ghosts can possess cannons and actually shoot the cannonballs out of the cannons at the hunters. The museum has this massive T-Rex skull that the ghosts can possess. Unfortunately, you can't possess the entire T-Rex, you can only possess the head, but the head still does a chomping move that's exclusive to it. And then, I'm pretty sure the knight in the suit of armor with the sword is exclusive to the Haunted Mansion looking place, but I could be wrong. I don't think I am, though. And yeah, and it's similar to Haunt Chaser because Haunt Chaser, which is still unfortunately dead, no updates, I'm sorry. Haunt Chaser had interactive jump scares around the map, and Midnight Ghost Hunt has interactive props. So that's what I see similar. Each map has their own specific thing similar to Haunt Chaser, except Haunt Chaser only had one. Now here's the thing. Like I said, the hunters have all their weapons. There's like a minigun of the Ghostbusters that they can use. There's also like a sniper that I mentioned earlier, and you actually get to see in the trailer. Pretty much, it's similar to how in Call of Duty you could customize your loadout of guns to play how you like to play the game. And yeah, that's just a fun little fact that I found in there. You can customize your build. And so, let's talk about after midnight. Once the clock strikes midnight, all the ghosts will be powerful, and then the ghosts have to kill the hunters before the hunters escape. So, here's the thing. Ghosts win when all the hunters are dead, and hunters win via escaping or all the ghosts are dead. Both sides have times where they have to run around, run away from their enemies. But that's just the simplest breakdown of the game you're gonna get. Come to the Horror Network if you want this. It's simple. That's all I'm gonna say. It's simple, less simple, more simple than most other people will describe, because I don't go as in-depth as most other people. If you want something super in-depth, you'll need to check out bigger YouTubers, because, yeah, I don't have that much time. But now for the quick review part. leave the breakdown, quick review. It's a very Ghostbusters style game, and that's what it's supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like a Ghostbusters type of game. And it does. It does that. It pulls that off perfectly. It pulls that off in a fun way. That's important. But it's an all-around fun game. The ghosts I like prop hunt, so this may affect it a little. I like all sorts of hide-and-seek horror games like this, or prop hunt. Prop hunt games are always really fun. And it does kind of trouble me, though, that apparently this game has been, in development for 3 years. It was E3 29. Okay, yeah. I'll say around 3 years. But I'm honestly really happy that it took so long, because this was some very fun game. The hiding phase, so there are 3 phases. There's the prepare phase, where both sides prepare, ghosts hide, hunters prep their loadout. In the second phase, that's when hunters actually start looking for the ghosts. In the third phase, that's when the ghosts start going after hunters. And it feels balanced until you get to the point after midnight. And honestly, I don't think it's supposed to feel balanced, and most people wouldn't like that aspect, but I really do. I like the flipping, the turning of the tide, how the ghosts went from being hunted to being the hunters, and how the hunters went from being the hunters to being the hunted. But most people don't like that. Well, at least to my knowledge, most people don't like the sun either don't or won't like the sun change of balance. But honestly, I really like it because it feels scary. Once you get to the past midnight, if the hunters haven't won yet, the ghosts all come back to life at 10 times more deadly than they were before, and start massacring the hunters. And honestly, there's something about that just feels good. The hide and seek part, the second phase, that's actually pretty balanced, because despite the hunters having all the tracking technology, hunters have lost ghosts if ghosts can play their cards right in chases and hiding. So the prep phase, in my opinion, is probably the most boring, as it is in any game, simply because you're just preparing and doing stuff, and there's no real action yet. But man, those final 4 minutes after midnight, that is just fear and carnage and terror and chaos, and it's amazing. Most people don't like it, but I love it. At least my knowledge, people don't like it. I've asked a couple people. They don't like how the ghosts went from being weak to overpowered. Let's be honest, nobody wants something to be overpowered in a multiplayer game. Dead by Daylight, the nurse. Anyways, I wouldn't call it overpowered, because hunters win in the midnight phase, because the ghosts aren't invulnerable during that phase. You can still kill the ghosts after midnight. It's just 10 trillion times harder. But yeah, I love the hiding. So here's what I love. I love the hiding. I love the phases. I love all the gadgets and abilities each side has. I like that the hiding spot feels balanced, and I like that the phase after midnight doesn't feel balanced. I know that's a very weird thing to say, saying you'll like something because it doesn't feel balanced, but I honestly really like that. If you ask me, it fits in with such a theme of a horror game. Here's something I really do find kinda silly though. Once a ghost has been destroyed and its shards have been vacuumed up, the ghost becomes an even more incorporeal. Sorry about that, but as I was saying, the ghost becomes a ghost. Literally. Once a ghost dies, it becomes a ghost invisible to all other alive players. Personally, I don't like, just from a logical standpoint, that a ghost that dies becomes a ghost. I really am not a fan of that. But that's just me being logical and reasonable and using logic. First, it's hard to kill something that's already dead, but now you're telling me that the ghost that just got killed again became a ghost. If it was just remnants of a ghost instead of an actual ghost that flew around after its death to spectate the rest of the game, I wouldn't mind that, but no, the ghost just straight up becomes a ghost after it dies a second time, and it's all confusing. But at least if you're dead, you do get if you're a ghost. If you're dead, you do have an ability you can use after death to just sort of debuff the hunters, but you still don't need to be a ghost. I don't know, I just really don't like the fact that when you die, you become a ghost after you were already a ghost. It just doesn't make sense to me. That's my main critique with this game. Another thing I appreciate though, this is a very unique ghost hunting game. Instead of all the other ghost hunting games that have been coming out, and they're all similar to each other, because no joke, I kid you not, another ghost hunting game came out called Ghost Exile, and oh my god, I'm gonna punch myself in the face until that game proves its worth, because god dang it. Man, why? Now I'm ranting about Ghost Exile, but oh my god. Ghost Exile is so similar to Phasmophobia, it's just... But no, enough about Ghost Exile. That's not the game, ghost hunting game we want to talk about. And I will admit, when I first saw the trailers for this game, I did just add it to the huge pile of ghost hunting games that we originally talked about earlier. But it's not like any of those, because unlike all those games which are ghost hunting games, this is a kind of asymmetrical deathmatch PvP ghost hunting game. So it's unique, and I love it. And those are my feelings on it. Signing off. Quick review of Midnight Ghost Hunt. You're welcome. Like the video. Hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And make sure your dog clicks subscribe too. Or a fish if you have it. And if you have a bird, make sure it just doesn't scratch the subscribe button out. See ya.